Good afternoon, YouTube. It's been a little while since you've seen this face. I know you've been seeing quite a bit of us riding, so this is a continuation of that. I'm going to be doing not quite an unboxing, but more of a reveal and installation. So let me show you what we've got. Some 5150 goodness. Got some whips and all the things that go with it. So went with the 187. So we got the two whips. These are their magnetic bases. So basically these will go on the RZR, and then these slide in there and nice little click, and they're good to go. So it'll be nice in and out when I decide to put them on and put them out. These are dust caps, so they go on here when not in use. And then this one goes on the bottom of that. Just kind of a nice little addition. Control box and extended wires. So I currently have two whips installed now. They are no longer working. I think it's in the switch. But my hope was to basically use the wiring that I have under here. So here's the current control module. I got one side over here, the other side over there. It goes down. I've got them wired back through here, underneath. It goes underneath all of underneath this, and then up through. And then I have my wire, or my current switch. I think the only thing I'm going to be able to use is a couple of these. But the 5150 ones do have a new wiring harness, probably better than my current situation. So it's got one here, these go here. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of show you what the wiring is gonna entail. I'm not going to film everything. I'm not gonna film pulling all those plastic pieces out. What I will try to show is the connection here, and then the connection in here. Sorry, it's kind of dirty, a little dusty, but since I already have most of the stuff already wired out, basically what I'm just going to do is try to find all of the connectors to the switch, plug that in. The installation instructions, let me see here. Sorry if you can't see this, but it should be pretty easy. It's the 1871 down here. Really all I have to do is put the plug in, or sorry, where's this? Use the switch, figure out what plugs in there, take out my current wiring and replace it with these, and hopefully be good to go. So next time you see me, I will be probably laying the wire. A little bit more detail on this. So again, these are the 187 whips. These are the 4-footers. I have also on order, should be delivered later today. I'm using the Tusk heavy-duty mounts. The current whips are 6 foot. I do like them to be tall, you know, as high can be. With the 4-footers, I'm going to put them somewhere on here. So it's going to be a mount that will go here, and it's got a somewhat of adjustment, so I might do a little bit of an angle. We'll see how that goes. In the kit, I do like, it's got like a nice little checklist, so I will want to say thank you to, is it Juliana, for packing this up. Much appreciated. Good job. Yeah, so there's all that. Again, you will see me again once I get everything start to kind of wired up. I'm going to try to test this out before I actually mount everything. So, see you soon. So, no bueno. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to undo the harnesses. That is the bad thing about having the pass-throughs. You can't take the seats out. So I had to undo this, to get to the center console. I mean, it's a mess, sorry. I've got things laying all over. But I had to take the rear seat out to get all the center console out. Easily able to find the wire, or the wires from my previous whips. So I just got to figure out how to tie this into the switch. So I got the switch plugged in, but this is the old wiring. So I just wanted to make sure that I have everything there. I wanted to get the old switch out of there. Obviously the power, you know, these are going to be replaced. Not sure what to do about the ground. I would imagine that I'm just going to have to take this off and put a connector on and plug it into the switch. I'm hoping that's all I have to do. I'm going to have to kind of, once I start pulling out the wiring harness that I had wired up, kind of figure out how I did that, and that will kind of tell the story. But until then, I will continue. Man, these things just already busted knuckles, and yeah, not fun. But I kind of know what I'm doing. The instructions are okay. What I don't like though is it just says it just shows a picture of this, and it doesn't really say where to put the ground wire. It says to the frame or to the battery, but it doesn't say here. So I'm just kind of gonna go off of what I already have. As you can see, this wire right here is split because this actually runs off of the lights themselves. Are all tied into the accessory bar up here because they are low watt, low volt, low amperage, whatever you want to call it. I'm not an electrician, so I would not know, but I can actually turn the switch on when the key is not in. As you can see, it's blue, but it doesn't stay lit all the time. So what happens is if you have this connected to your auxiliary or your power, the switch is lit all the time. So this only actually gets backlit when the key is in either the accessory mode or it's turned on. So as you see, it's not on. I put the key in, this will light up. It doesn't stay lit up all the time. And that's how I have all of them hooked up. But yeah, I'm gonna mess around with this some more. Hopefully I can get it wired up tonight. If not, tomorrow morning. Okay, so we're close. I did hook it up and kind of test it out. It works. So I was able to use the negative cable that I already had, just shorten it up a little bit. The positive wire from the 5150 harness plugs right in. Didn't even have to really do a whole lot of rewiring. So here is the control module. Those will connect there, so there's some extension cords that plug into those. Excuse my taping, I didn't have any shrink wrap, but I did put a set of plugs on this. This negative wire goes to this negative wire, sorry, was already here. This was the negative wire that I had on the previous whips. This wire right here goes to the switch. This one we use this way, and again plugs in right here, so my negative is set. The positive one is right here, and this plugs into the back of the switch, which I have right here, and it's this bottom one. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mount this. I've got some industrial strength Velcro. I'm probably gonna put it somewhere right there. That way the wires can go back into there where the switch is. See that open spot right there? And then I will basically take the extensions that came with this, run it through the console right here. Hopefully they're long enough. Should be. And then we're all set. The mounts have not come yet. I don't know if they're going to come tonight, but as long as the wiring is done, I can basically put the whips on wherever I want. Like I said, I did test them out. They are Bluetooth whips, kind of cool. So they're the 187s. So they do the chasing, the cascading. I was messing around with it. Got a little red, white, and blue, you know, chasing each other. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited about them. I'm gonna finish up this wiring, and I will do a quick demo Probably just laying the whips in the bed of the RZR. Again, I can't mount them yet until I get the actual Tusk mounts, but I will show you what they can do. Oh, 5150. So I got everything wired up, but that's no bueno. That's all I have. It's not long enough. This is their new wiring harness, and the problem that I'm having is it's short. So this needs to plug into the switch there, which basically just gives me that. Whereas my old one, and I think the previous version of the 5150, you just get a positive and a negative, and you have to wire that. So basically you just put this piece somewhere in the back, and then you've got all of this to figure out where you're going to put your whips. Whereas now they put all of the switch plugs on this side, so it has to be close to the front, and it's just not long enough. So I think I have a solution, hopefully. My ground wire is already very long, so I think what I might do is just get an extension, obviously change the plugs. That way I can move this further back in the RZR to hopefully make these plugs longer. So that's what I've run into. Everything was going really smoothly, but the extension cables that come with the 187 whips are not long enough for a 4-door RZR. And this is an XP, so it's 12.1 feet. I couldn't imagine if this was a Can-Am Max, that thing would be probably 3, 4, 5 feet short. So 5150, you gotta do a better job, man. Those extension plugs need to be at least 3 or 4 feet longer. Progress. So I kind of put my extension here, put it in this nice cover. The worst thing about it is I already had wires ran for the old one. If I would have known that those extensions were too short, I could have just spliced them. But my negative and positive are in there. Comes over. It runs up right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll zip tie all this later. Negative, positive, negative here. Positive and negative go there. Into my switch. My switch works. You can see a little bit of the blue. I did plug in one of the whips and that came on, so we should be good to go. I am putting the control module there, which should give me at least 4 or 5 extra feet for these, which that should be plenty to hook the whips up. Again, I'm kind of disappointed in the extensions that 5150 provided. They were super short. I don't know what was going on. I don't know. I mean, these are universal. So you'd think that they'd give enough for a 2-seater and a 4-seater, but it was definitely not enough. So I will finish getting this wired up, everything cleaned up. I probably won't put all of the center consoles back in. I'll do that all tomorrow. I just want to make sure that I can plug in both whips and everything looks good, and then I'll clean it up tomorrow. So as soon as I get this buttoned up and plugged in, I will give it a test and show you guys what they look like. So I'm filming on the camera that or the phone that controls them, but they're pretty cool. So I've kind of made my own colors. This is kind of a red, white, and blue. It's super bright. I think tomorrow, after I get everything buttoned up, I will use my GoPro or a different camera to record. That way I can kind of show you all the different things that it does. I just can't do it right now, but this is pretty cool. Again, these are the 5151 whips. Decent flags. Really wish that the extensions, so it was an adventure, but I got plenty of room now. The mounts were supposed to come. USPS got a text, said that they were delivered at my mailbox, and they were not there. So I don't know what happened. Either they didn't deliver them or who knows. But hopefully I'll get that taken care of tomorrow. But they are clamps that will go right here. I can put them up here, basically wherever I want to. The last ones I had were 6-foot whips, and one broke down here. I mean, it still worked, but it was really floppy. The other one broke about, I don't know, 6 inches up, and it just, when we'd move, it would just fold right here. So I wanted to get the shorter ones. They're a little more stout, but I want to make sure that they are tall enough to where they go over the roof. Because when we ride and we're going over a hill, you want to be able to see the whips. So rather than putting them here and being just maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches taller than the roof, I can put them up here and then adjust them to where I feel like they are kind of at a safe height. And the Tusk ones also are adjustable, so I can maybe put them at like a little bit of an angle to kind of keep them from doing this when we're moving. The 5150s do have a lifetime warranty. The warranty's pretty sick. Hopefully I'll never have to use it, but it covers, I mean, obviously the manufacturing defects and things like that, but they also replace them if you do a bonehead move. If you leave them on when you're putting them in your toy hauler, if you roll your RZR or Can-Am or whatever you put them on and they break, they will give you new ones. So that's pretty cool. Again, hopefully I'll never have to use it, but that in itself will hopefully make up for their short wires that I had to redo and spend an extra hour and a half figuring out. But I like the way that they work. They do the whole cascade thing, so they're pretty cool. We're going to Akatia Wells. Yeah, we always go to Akatia Wells. I don't have paddles, so Glamis is out of the picture for a little while, and we don't have a trailer. We have a travel trailer, not a toy hauler. So hopefully these will do the trick. I'm really excited about them. Once I get them actually mounted up to the roll cage, I will film that tomorrow. I didn't really show how the magnetic base works. There's a ton of videos on them out there. Nothing that really shows how you hook it up. So I kind of did that. Wasn't perfect, but I'll probably go over it again, just kind of how I did all the wiring. I'll trim the video up so it's nice and short. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the product. They seem, pretty good, nice quality. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. It really helps me out. I've only got, I don't know, less than 20 subscribers, so I'd love to get to 20, 25, 30, eventually a couple thousand. So the more you watch my videos, the better. All right, man, appreciate it. Hey, YouTube, finally finished, got the mounts. They delivered them either last night or this morning, I have no clue. But here we go. These are the Tusk mounts. You can rotate them in 15-degree increments. So I got those on. I have them adjusted just about to where the 6-foot flags, these are just about as tall. So they look good. Everything's wired up. And I'm just kind of wired in through here. Got them tucked back in there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I have the wires all nice and tight. I gotta trim that one. But basically I just have them coming up, zip tied there, got it through there, zip tied. Basically just out of the way, nice and tight. It kind of comes up, back up through there. You can't see it very well, but yeah, everything's nice and tight, so should be good to go.